Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to be talking about, it's 2022, so every year I usually do an update on the Invisalign Advantage program. This one, like I said, it's different in every different country. The one I'm most familiar with is the United States program, of course. So I'm going to be talking about that today. I don't see any, this is, by the way, this content was basically lifted from their website. No, I do not own this content, any of the logos, anything like that. This is Invisalign's. I'm just basically summarizing it for you, so I'm showing you exactly what they're telling you. I'm not reprinting it or anything like that. Invisalign, as always, thank you for letting me share your information. This is all positive, so I don't see any reason that you're going to require me to take this down. But as always, I don't like nasty letters from your legal team. So if you have a concern about what I've posted, you're more than welcome, Align Technology, to reach out to me directly. Be nice, be kind, and let me know what you need me to change. Or if you needed me to take it down, I could, but that makes zero sense to me because this actually benefits you. So 2022, based on what I'm seeing just with my eyeballs, I don't see any real difference in terms of the Advantage program and how it works in the United States from this year to last year. There might be, but if so, it's very subtle. So it's pretty much the same thing. Remember, there's Advantage is different than Rewards. Peak Rewards is different. You can look that up and see how that works. I've made other videos about that. I didn't see any changes to that program either. But in a nutshell, basically you have to opt into the Advantage program every year. So if you haven't opted into it, and the program period, 6-month period, goes from January 1st to July 1st. So then you need to opt into it. You can opt in, you can opt out. If you have it, you need to do it. What else? This is a no-brainer. I've definitely seen doctors in 6 months go from doing no cases to making gold status. It's very, very doable, even for a GP or a pediatric dentist. Quite doable. I see it all the time. You're not going to be able to do it without a scanner, without the iTero. And the iTero is the only way I think you can do it in the United States. So for the most part. So you're going to need to get the iTero. It's, again, a no-brainer. If you're going to do Invisalign, you need the iTero or at least access to an iTero. Sometimes people share an iTero with other doctors. There's lots of different crowdsourcing and things you can do. Talk to your territory manager, your TM, a little bit more. In some cities, there are like radiology clinics that have an iTero. I know that's one I've used in San Francisco. There's one I've used in Honolulu. Send patients to that, and then you don't have to buy one, right? But of course, they're going to charge your patients a fee, you know, and it's all, you're more likely to sell the case if you have it in-house and just do it and don't charge the patient for it. But just a thought. Remember, your Advantage program goes by 6 months period. So the 1st of January to the 30th of June is one period. You have to finish your 24 cases and approve them by midnight Pacific time on the 30th of June. And it gets real busy sometimes that last week. So you want to make sure, and that means approved. So you need to actually scan them a couple weeks before the end of the period. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. So I recommend not waiting to the very last minute. What else? So this often changes here, this whole, and if you want to read this more up front, I know this is super tiny. You're going to have to go into your Invisalign portal and look it up. But this is the part I always pay attention to because they tend to change this a lot. So you get points for comprehensive, you get points for everything: Express, Go, Light, Assist, Moderate, Comprehensive 2, Invisalign First. But you get more points for comprehensive, 1,000 points, moderate, and assist. You should never do assist anyway, so I'm just going to say moderate and comprehensive. That's 1,000 points. You need 24 of those cases by June 30th in order to make gold, which is an 8% volume discount. If you do Invisalign First, Invisalign Second, Light, Go, you only get half the points. You get 500 points. So then you're going to have to do 48 cases by you get the math, right? If you do Express, any of the Expresses, you get only a quarter of the points. So it's 250. So you'd have to conceivably do 96 cases by the end of the year. So I'm sorry, by the end of the 6-month period. So as always, I never ever recommend general and pediatric dentists do anything but comprehensive, maybe very occasionally a moderate, but it's only $200 difference. So I don't see the point. Remember, what's the benefit of doing comprehensive? So many. You get 5 years to finish the case. No, it shouldn't take you 5 years to finish a case. But the way I think of it is that there's no stress, right? A lot of times, especially, I see this happen all the time. Doctors will be like, oh, my patient wants to just do an improved only or an anterior only treatment. And so they're like, oh, I'm just going to do Express, or I'm just going to do Light, right? Or even moderate. And then when they finish, You know, and these patients like signed and said, I'm fine with this, it's cool. And they get to the end, they're like, ooh, I don't like it. Well, I could have told you they weren't gonna like it. Or my bite is weird. Yeah, I could have told you that was gonna happen. I want to fix the whole thing. Well, now you don't get refinements on that, or if you do, they're super limited. And now you're gonna have to pay again to move it up to. Sometimes there's some situation where they'll let you pay the upgrade fee, but it's rarely happening anymore. So highly unlikely. You're probably gonna have to pay all over again. And unless you had like airtight legal paperwork, yeah, you're going to be paying that out of your own pocket. You really can't charge the patient that. There's a few times when I've seen some doctors that had really solid legal paperwork, but it's really also, it really gets toxic. Like the patients really get mad at you. It's not worth a bad review. Just do all your cases as comprehensive, and then there's no stress. You can sleep well at night. There's no problems, right? You know that if your patient changes gears, it's not going to come out of your pocket. And unless you're doing perfect, you know, you can't sleep well at night because there's a very likely your patient didn't fully understand that improved or that limited treatment wasn't ideal, okay? And they didn't necessarily, you might have explained this and that might happen, it might be a little different, you may not like it, and they may say, yeah, that's what I want, but then when they get there, they're not happy. So that's why, even if it's limited, even if you think you can do it in 14 aligners, I always recommend you do comprehensive for everything. There's a few situations where me being really skilled and accurate knows when they can do a moderate, but I rarely go less than that. Everything is comprehensive. Also, what happens often, you finish the case, patient signed off, you know, 6 months later, patient lost retainers, went on a trip, went to college, you know, wasn't able to come in for a few months or a few weeks, and the teeth started to relapse. What then? Well, yeah, sure. I'm sure you're thinking in your head, well, they signed off, this would be another cost. Well, that also gets toxic because I can tell you flat out, the patients are like, whoa, I just finished treatment a few months ago. Why are you charging me all over again? And you're like, well, you had a moderate case or a light case. So, you know, it's expired. So it's a whole nother fee. Well, a lot of times they didn't know that you did that. They're like, whoa, I paid for full treatment. I paid for comprehensive treatment, D8080. That's what you charge my insurance, D8090. And wait, you just did a limited treatment on me? Then you start to get issues with insurance problems. And, you know, they have grounds, you know. You really shouldn't be charging this patient a full nother price over again. You just finished it a few months ago, you know. That's why I like doing the comprehensive with Invisalign, because I get 5 years. So if the patient comes back a couple years later and I'm still within that 5-year window, I can at least know I can redo the treatment and there's no lab fee on my end. So now I can just charge the patient for my time, which is going to be significantly less. Maybe I'm only going to charge $1,000 or $2,000 for the treatment because I know I have no lab fee. Nothing gets toxic with that. Again, insurance policy. If you're outside that 5 years, nobody's expecting you to give a discount. But within a couple of years, they are. And I see this happening over and over again with doctors that I work with. I tell them, don't do the moderate. Even if you think you can finish it, there's just, it's not worth it for the extra $200. The extra $200 is insurance policy for you, so that you don't have to worry about it, because all it takes is one bad review, and it will happen. The more you do moderate and light cases, this will happen. This will probably happen 1 in every 5 to 10 patients. So that's why I always recommend everything being comprehensive. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say here. But definitely I want to pump you up. Definitely you can pull this off. Definitely you can at least make gold your first month, and then your next 6 months you should be able to make gold plus. It's not that hard. Your patients are there. You just have to know how to do it. You need to get systems down. You need to get your team trained up. You need to be scanning every single patient in your practice who has teeth from age 5 up. You will. The patients are there. And sometimes if you don't explain the options or just explain the benefits, you don't have to wait for patients to ask you to do ortho. That's a mistake. You don't say, hey, would you like an ortho consult? That's insane. Basically, the ADA, American Dental Association, says that airway and sleep and all that and occlusion is standard of care. You need to be offering this to every single patient who could benefit from it, which, based on my experience, it's rare that I can find someone that can't benefit from it, either functionally or aesthetically. I challenge you to show me a patient who has teeth that wouldn't benefit from some type of Invisalign, be it short-term or long-term. So, and hey, if Smile Direct Club has almost a 90% acceptance rate, I don't know where that came from, but multiple people have told me that's the rate. This is not proprietary information. I'm just repeating what I hear. You know, in one way or another, they'll often do just improved or just work on one arch or just work on the front teeth. You can think what you think of it, but they're looking at they're looking at this. They've treated 1 million cases, right? because they're looking at it from the lens of what I'm talking about. Everyone can benefit from some kind of ortho, even if it's not complete ortho, even if it's not perfect. Everyone can benefit. So if you don't explain this to your patient, you're actually doing them a disservice, and it's possibly malpractice, because if you don't understand ortho, then someone else needs to explain it to them. And if it's not you, then you need to be referring these patients out, or at least strongly recommending that they go see an orthodontist one way or another. Either you do it or someone else needs to do it. They need the information. Once they get the information, they can make an educated decision whether they want to proceed or not, but someone has to give them the information. I can tell you that in my practice, so many times I'd have patients walk in who were now like really complex cases, and they were so angry at their general dentists for not having referred them, not having told them they could have done this 5 years ago, 8 years ago. What is the benefit? They said, it was never mentioned to me, you know? That is standard of care. You need to mention to your patients why they need something, you know? Even if it's not a service you provide, you need to educate them, explain it to them. And unless you can do that, then every single one of your patients should be referred out. That's all I pretty much got to say, unless they got perfect occlusion. All right, thanks so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Take care.